Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where we explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Bogarts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover these secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. So let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about building a personal brand that stands out in this hugely crowded market of ours and turning expertise into a thriving online business. And today I have an amazing guest with me. Her name is Christine Blosdale, and she is the expert authority coach. Christine, being the expert authority coach with over 25 years of experience in media, branding, and social media, and as a 5-time #1 best-selling author and podcasting expert, she empowers entrepreneurs and thought leaders to amplify their voices and dominate their niches. With her unique blend of coaching and media expertise, Christine helps clients achieve remarkable success while ensuring that they have a blast along the way. Welcome, Christine. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy to be here too. We're going to have such a great conversation. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. And I love how we were just talking about this, about how, the universe brought us together here because we had met throughout a summit that I was working with a client on, and you were one of the speakers. And I always thought, I'm like, oh, you would be awesome on my show. And then I got an email from you being like, hey, you've got a show. I want to be on it.
It's the universe just threw us together.
It did. So tell us about how, you got into this field of work and just, why you're so passionate about it.
Oh, well, I love helping entrepreneurs and solopreneurs really blossom and find that passion. If they don't know what they're passionate about, then I'll try and help them, but really to get their message out. So many entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and mompreneurs are overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with all of the things that they need to do for their business, right? They have to be a copywriter. They have to be a marketer. They have to be a webmaster. They have to be an accountant. They have to be all these things.
Man, all the hats.
All the hats. And when you're spinning all those plates, on those sticks, sometimes things can fall off and it can be very overwhelming. And a lot of people give up, or they just say, I've just got to stick to that job that I hate, right? That 9 to 5, or I have to go for something that's secure, and it kills so many dreams. Mm-hmm. So my job is to take the overwhelm out of it and to look at that person, look at their expertise or what they're trying to build into their expertise and get the message out. So I work on branding. I work on making sure that that what they do is being expressed in the content that they're creating. So I'll look at their digital footprint. I'll look at their social media. I'll look at their website, and I'll look at the words that they use and how they're showing up and how they're communicating who they are and what they do and how they serve their audience or, potential customers and clients. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I got started a long time ago. So hopefully I'm good at it.
Well, I would assume so. That's so cool. And so when you sort of do the kind of this analysis and look at all the things, then you help them sort of fine tune their message so they can represent themselves even better.
Yeah. Well, I have clients from all different backgrounds and age ranges. My newest client is 82 years old. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, she's Australian too. She's like, I don't know. Is there any help for me? Is it, can you do something for me? And I'm like, well, let's take a look at you. And this particular client of mine is like the first female hot air balloonist in Australia. She died almost 7 times. She was rescued by a pod of dolphins once when she was in the ocean bleeding, which here in Australia, you don't want to be. I said, you have stories galore. I said, you have so many books within you. I said, you have so many stories you can tell on podcasts. And she, right now, her whole thing is she wants to leave a legacy and she wants to inspire other young women to step out of their comfort zone and to do those scary things and so I love
Maybe
her.
not to the extreme that she did them, but I
Yeah,
get it.
but it's like, hey, if I can go in a hot air balloon and almost die, you can take that leap and start your job, right?
Right.
Start your
Yes, yes.
business. Yeah. So I love working and cherry picking the things that I see. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, we sometimes need somebody from the outside to look in and to see those golden nuggets and to go, you're sitting on a gold mine here, and you could actually pursue this through this, through these steps, right? And so that's what I love, is when the light bulb goes off on my clients and they go, oh, I can do that. You mean I can make a living doing that? Yes, you can. And so we just have to jump over a couple hurdles. We need to clear out a couple of icky, old stories and fears and things like that. I'm not a therapist, but I tend to feel that some of my business is a little bit of therapy, just getting over those old stories that we have, those negative, limiting beliefs that we have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I even noticed that with myself just in the last couple of weeks where I was with my business coach and he came up with this amazing idea. And then I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Or can I charge that much? And then I sort of talked about it to some other people and everybody's like, absolutely. Yes. I'm so excited for this idea for you. It's absolutely perfect. I do that 100% charge that much. And I was like, really? Like, it was an interesting how, I kind of got that validation of the value that other people see that I have that maybe I didn't totally see in myself. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And sometimes you need that person. I have a client right now who's finally starting to raise her rates on, because I looked at what I looked at what she does for people, and then I looked at what she was charging, and I said, honey, you are undercharging for your time. And she said, well, I want to make sure that I want to appeal to everybody. I want to make sure everybody can access this. And I said, no, that's fine. And I have some clients that I will do a reduced rate, because I know that they might be struggling, and so I will, here and there, do some reduced rates for them, because I want them to take the baby steps and start getting successful, and then it's got an energy of its own. But a lot of times, and especially women, can tend to under charge for their service, for their wisdom, and we work on that right away. But the
Good.
biggest issue is having that dreaded imposter syndrome. And male clients that I work with have it as well. But imposter syndrome, for those that don't know, it's that horrible feeling of, you're excited about starting your business, or you're excited about offering a service, and you've got all these ideas, and then that little weird voice like Schmeagol from the Lord of the Rings comes in and says, you're nothing. Nobody wants to listen to you. Who are you? And that's a horrible Schmeagol, by the way. But but it's something that's really prevalent, and it kills so many dreams and so many amazing creators and businesses. It gets snuffed out because of that. And so we deal with that right away. We deal with the old stories that are turning in our heads and keeping us from really achieving our greatness. And there's a couple different ways we deal with that, but that's probably the biggest obstacle I see with my clients in the beginning.
Yeah. 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 It's so sad. I've seen so many coaches, maybe that I did my certification with, who's eventually, their businesses, didn't actually go anywhere. And with some people, they might get on a sales call and they have a great thing. And then they go, then they don't ask for the business, like you got to ask, or they go to say the price and then they choke up on what their charges. And yeah, so I think that's awesome that you work on that first, because if you don't ask, you're not going to get.
Well, and that imposter syndrome too will keep you from doing the things that you need to do in order to have a successful business, right? So it will keep you from writing those blogs, from creating those videos. I have a few female clients who, they say, "Oh, Christine, who wants to listen to me? Who's going to come to me? I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that." And I always say, first of all, let's forget about you for a second. And they'll go, what? But this is all about me. I go, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's about the people that you serve. It's about the clients that you serve. Why did you get into this business? Or why did you decide that you wanted to do this? You wanted to be a coach, or you wanted to be a speaker. Oh, well, because I want to inspire people, or I want to educate them, or I want to help guide them. Well, okay. So you need to focus on those people that you're trying to serve and help, and get out of your own way. Because if you don't show up because you're worried about how you a wrinkle,
Right.
geez, those people are not going to get the service. They're not going to get the help that you can provide them, and you can make a difference in their life and help them. They're not going to get that because you're so worried about that damn wrinkle, and we are moving away. Thankfully, we are moving away from the Kardashian perfection. I never thought they were perfect anyway, but this perfect, unrealistic vision of what a successful woman is, what a successful business person is. And right now, humanity in general is craving authenticity and relatability. That's the commodity right now. If you can have authenticity, then also people will tend to trust you more because they see that you're being real. And even on my social media, I do silly things because I like humor. When I'm working with people, I'm simple, easy, and fun. We have fun. We have a good time, right? And so my social media is very reflective of that. I do silly things, fun things that I love doing. But every now and then I'll put something out there that it's vulnerable, right? That I'm struggling with myself. Do I have all of the answers to all of the world's problems? No. Am I an expert at expert authorityness and media and all that? Yes, I'm very confident in that. But in life in general, sometimes you have things that happen. You have illness, or you have a death in the family, or you have a major breakup, or with myself, being able to show that side of myself to my followers and people that are now starting to follow me, because they're like, wow, she's being honest and authentic and vulnerable, and I like that. And I trust somebody who's able to do that. So there's times that you can be you can knock down that third wall, so to speak, and say, guess what, I'm a human too.
Right? Yep. 100%. That actually just makes me think about a post I should write maybe this week about that.
There you go.
So I know you were just talking about like running business authentically and sort of being authentic, and how it's like what is so needed right now. I hear it all the time. But how do you think that we can reshape our business to be more in integrity?
We have to.
I agree.
I mean, look all around you. You see that everything is falling apart that is not in integrity. And it doesn't matter if it's, dogma, and you see it in politics, you see it in Hollywood. My goodness, the days of celebrity idolatry is is going very, very fast. And we see it all around us. That idea of, I like to work as in a win-win-win way, right? That everybody wins. I'm not screwing anybody over. Because I believe in karma so much, but that everybody wins. So my client wins, I win, the world wins, right? That everybody is getting something positive out of it, because the days of greed and I've got a lot of clients that come to me and they go, oh my gosh, why didn't I find you before? Because I paid $10,000 for this, that, and the other, and I got nothing, and I can't get my money back. And you do have to be cautious when you're plunking down that kind of money for whatever service. But those days are over. Those people that are the charlatans, they're not going to be able to, and not to get too woo-woo on you or spiritual, but I mean, it's the energy is changing, right? We see it. And with that energy change, you can either jump on the train and be in that positive energy and have that great um, the respect from people that have worked with you and trust, or you can still dig your heels in and be the greedy one and do your shenanigans, but you won't get very far with the new world that is being created, so to speak. Again, not to be woo woo, but it's an energy. It's a feeling and a vibe and an energy, and that's, as working with clients now, I say you have an energy and you need to really focus on what you're putting out there. And they go, really? Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love linking the integrity with the energy. And I think you're so right. It's like the world is pivoting, or I don't know whatever is happening. Depending how woo you want to get. And so many different signs out there that things are changing. And I don't know, I always just kind of this like, I guess because I work with or am associated with a lot of like healers and things. I feel like I'm being exposed to that world more, so that I see it and hear it so much. But then I feel like it's not just because I'm in that world. I think it's actually because the world is um, noticing all of that now. Even my one of my brothers is he's like a lawyer and very factual, and he always looks at facts and likes research and things. So he's not, the whole woo stuff doesn't. But then him and I were talking about quantum physics the other day, and he's like, well, it's been proven this and that. And I was like, yeah, right. Like, because I just said, I'm like, well, like, what do you think about the whole quantum physics thing? Like, tell me your opinion. He's like, well, it's been proven and this and that. And I was like, you're starting to believe in energy. Look at that. It was amazing.
Isn't that funny? Well, yeah, and a lot of things that, a lot of things are coming true that people have been talking about for a long time and nobody believed them. And now it's coming true. And really it's about, it's finding your groove and finding where your passions lie. And again, that energy that you have when you're passionate about something, it's magical and it attracts your tribe. That's why I love TikTok so much. And I really try and get a lot of my clients to, I'll help them develop their TikTok page and guide them on how to create videos and things, is because the algorithm is such that the content that you put out there, the algorithm attracts your tribe, your people, your community. And yes, there's a lot of crazy stuff on there as well, but really, it's an amazing platform. And I've seen creator, it helped create the creator economy where people are making a damn good living just being themselves, being inspirational or motivational or funny. They've finally found a platform where they can just be and express themselves, and they can actually also make a decent living out of it, which I think is great.
Yeah,
because it puts all the control back in their hands, right? And that's what I think we're doing as a society in general, and with business as well, is that we need to take that control back. So we're not just like a pinball ball, in a machine bouncing around at whatever happens. Oh, there's COVID over here. Oh, there's a natural disaster over here. We need to grab that control back and have a way that we can still communicate with our tribe, our people. I don't look at my clients as clients necessarily. They're my tribe. They dig me and I dig them, and I want to work with them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing when you find that sort of synergy. And I love that you said that about TikTok, because I remember when it became big and it was like, people were like, oh, I think I got on the wrong side of TikTok. They looked at one thing once and then the algorithm picked up and all of a sudden dark realm, and they're like, how do I get out of this? And like you were saying, what you kind of put in, you get back, right? So you can find your tribe. So if you put out the amazing content, then
you could do a psychoanalysis. You could do a psychoanalysis of people based on their TikTok, the FYP, all the stuff that comes up on their feed. Mine is a mix of, of funny stuff. Well, because I have a podcast I have a podcast show that's all about TikTok, quote unquote, influencers that I think are influencers, right? They don't have millions of followers, but they're people that I think are interesting. But it's if you look at mine, you'll see some funny, crazy, kooky stuff, You'll see some endearing people that just tell story. They're good storytellers, and then a splattering of conspiracy theory stuff. And I don't even call it theory anymore. Now it's conspiracy. Now it's like truth. It's like it's all coming out. I'm like, what? So and I use a lot of the stuff that I find on TikTok. I use that in my coaching and my teaching to really push the message forward, like to say, you know, being slick in your branding, like if you think you're gonna be super cool and like I'm gonna do something really crazy, think about it before you do it, because there's some major brands that thought they were gonna be all slick and cool and funky, and it backfired on them in a big way. And you can just well, we can go into that, but it's be careful.
Yeah.
Don't
So
be
let's
too
dive
cute.
into don't be too cute. Yeah. Let's dive into that. Let's talk about, give us some sort of like tips. I know we talked about imposter syndrome, but how someone can build their personal brand that really stands out, because it is true, especially in the coaching industry, it is quite crowded. And how can they kind of stand out there and really, turn their, and like a lot of coaches and stuff, they always, or entrepreneurs, it's their expertise and kind of what they know and their skills, but it's also usually their journey, what they experienced, right? And they don't want other people to experience what they experience. So, and how,
Yeah.
and then it's amazing to me that you can do that and turn it into a thriving online business.
Well, you have to think of it. If you're a coach or a consultant or any sort of service provider, you are the product, right? Yeah. You're not selling a bar of soap. You're selling you. And I know some people kind of go, well, that kind of feels weird. No, it's because you need to establish that, number one, you're trustworthy, that you are authentic and you're reliable. And you do that through different ways. And there's different tools that you can use. Depending on my clients, a lot of clients, I can push them down this one avenue and say, we're going to focus on this, creating this sort of content to reflect your message because you feel comfortable doing these things. Others, I'll go, we're going in TikTok hard. We're going, you need to start creating videos. You need to, get that content out there. And of course, when you create videos for TikTok, you don't just throw it up on TikTok. You can put it on all the platforms. You can put it on Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn. I throw my stuff up on LinkedIn thinking maybe it won't do that well. And then a lot of I'm surprised by it. Right. So repurposing that content is important, but it's finding those avenues, those marketing tools that you feel really that jive with you, that you feel comfortable with. So the first thing I'll do is I'll actually, when somebody comes to me, if they have started their business, I'll look at their website and their digital footprint, meaning their social media. So I'll look at all the stuff that's out there. I will say, we're going to Google you. And they go, what? Yeah. I said, we're going to Google you. We're going to Google your name and we're going to see what comes up. And that's always a big eye opener for them. And I say, when you start reaching the peak of your expert authority status in whatever field that you're in, that Google return will be flourishing. It'll be page after page after page, right?
Right.
It might be your links to your social media. It might be interviews that you've had where you've been a guest. It might be books that you've written. It might be YouTube videos that you're in and your name is mentioned. The SEO, you want your name and what you do to be on all those pages, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that. We'll take a look at that. And a lot of times I'll look at their website and I'll go, I still don't know what you do. The messaging is all over the place. So we work on their brand. We work on their presence. And for those folks that are excited about this and they want to, get going, please get a professional headshot of a photo. Please, it will change your world. I promise you. If you have that money shot, that think of it this way, like pretend that you are writing your book, the book that is going to, make you not a gazillionaire, but a bestseller. And what I say is, what's the photo? What's the image you're going to put on the back of the book or on the cover? I have some books that I've written that I'm on the cover because I've got headphones and a microphone. So I know people, they're going to realize it's about podcasting or something
Yeah.
with audio. So I say, let's get that done. And I'll create for them, with them, a media kit, or we call it an EPK, electronic press kit. And that media kit is really like your glorified business card. Okay. That media kit is what you can send out to a whole host of people, uh, television producers, podcast producers, and hosts. You can send that out to anybody that you want to get their attention and to say, hey, I would like to work with you, or I would like to be on your show. I'd like to give my advice on XYZ. That media kit is very powerful. And in that media kit, of course, it's that great money shot, the photo of you, your contact info, and then your highlights. So your highlights are going to be the accomplishments that relate to your business. Okay, this is very important. Don't put on there that you dated Joe Smith in college, and then you went off. No. We want to know what your golden nuggets are, right? So those things that show your expert authority and will make it much easier for somebody who sees that to go, oh my gosh, we have to have them on the show, or we need to, I want to learn more about them, or I want to work with them. So that's how we start. And then we go from there, and do all the other good stuff, some social media stuff. So it just depends on the person, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thanks for that. Yeah. The media kit, I think it was, maybe something that like was at the beginning of my business as well, creating that media kit. And then, and more recently, I created like a networking kind of one sheet. And it's like a one pager that I can put in networking events, because that wouldn't go to, like, if I was looking for media gigs, it wouldn't go for that. But I love how we can have different things that you can share just so that people, know who you are and see the best of you. And I think, they're super important.
Absolutely. And I'll also tell my clients who are just starting out, we'll start for them a as seen on, or as featured on, what I call like it's not a plaque. It's not a real physical plaque, but it's something that you can put on your website. But also you put it on your media kit. And that means as seen on. So I worked for America Online for a couple years. I worked for Microsoft. I have done article. I've been in featured in articles in Women's Day magazine and a few other magazines, and some television shows and things like that. And those icons, those logos, are very powerful. The AOL logo alone is like, you see it, you're like, oh, I know what that is. That's you've got mail. That's AOL, right? And if you've had a press release sent out, and the an affiliate, like a NBC affiliate, has picked it up, you can actually also use those logos, those things. Right. And that really helps with your expert authority, because people go, oh, wow. So she's been on this show. She's been featured here and there. That means she's got follow through, and that she's somebody that I need to pay attention to. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally builds your credibility. Excuse me. Well, this has just been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you did, and kind of some sort of things that I took away, which I think is totally like works well with this, is that, we are our own brand. We are us. We need to sell us. And so really showing up and showing that you're trustworthy and that you're authentic and reliable, and putting that on your media, and kind of like letting people know that, because that's really how you're going to build the trust. And the trust is really what kind of can build the clients. And then we talked about as well, like, which I thought was just so fantastic, because so many people can tell us to do different types of marketing. Like, you got to do this, you got to do that. But really what you want to do is find the one that works for you, find the one that jives with you, that really resonates with you, and kind of focus on that, because it's so hard to do all of the things. And then usually, like we were talking earlier, right? Like spinning all the plates, and you can do that with all the different types of media. So really find the one that works well with you. Go ahead and Google yourself, see what comes up, see if you like it. And then maybe tweak a few things. I remember I did that years ago. Maybe it was when I don't remember when it was. And like all that came up was sort of like my like old festival days when I was living in London or something. And I was like, oh, maybe I should like go to prick that up a bit. And then like, kind of changed it a bit. And all it was about like the charities that I was doing and yeah, so it's interesting to see what's out there. Really work on your brand. Sorry.
Another really important thing that you want to do too, especially on your website, is to post your testimonials and reviews from the people that actually have paid you and worked with you. That is very powerful. And what I tell people, I'll do a mixture of copy, text, and the quote from the client and their name, and a lot of times I'll link to their business because hello. But even more powerful are videos, and you'd be surprised. I've asked clients of mine, I said, do you mind just creating a little video on your phone, just saying, did you like working with me? And they're like, oh my gosh, of course. And they create this production. They go on Zoom and they've got music and they've got everything. And when those videos, when somebody comes to your website and they click on that, or it starts playing and they see somebody, a real human who has worked with you, and they can see the passion in their eyes, and they're like, oh my gosh, you've got to work with Christine. That's powerful, because you're not telling people how great you are. Someone else is, a real person that actually worked with you. And that is gold. That is like one of the things that I really recommend people do. And you'd be surprised. People will do it. They'll do it for you. They love you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the video is a great way of doing it. So Christine, tell us where people can find you, our listeners can find you online.
Absolutely. So the best place they can go is to my website, and they'll see everything that I've got there. It's expertauthoritycoach.com, expertauthoritycoach.com. That's the best way. And there's a place that it's right there on the main page. If they want to have a free conversation with me, a consultation, they could tell me what they do, but more importantly, what they want to do. And we'll go through and I'll tell you just some ideas that I would have and how I could work with you. That's the best way to reach me, though, is that website. And then also we have, if you don't mind, I'd love to offer a free gift to your.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I've never done this, because, I always for the longest time when I have a new book out, I'll tell people, go to Amazon and get it, because it helps, it helps me. But you don't have to go to Amazon to get this. You can actually, we'll have a link in the show notes. We'll make sure that's posted. This is my new book. It's called The Social Media and Branding Survival Guide, Digital Marketing So Irresistible Even Your Ex Will Want to Follow You. Little tongue in cheek there. Now this is this is my latest bestseller, and they'll get the PDF version of it, so they can download it, print it, read it, however that. But they're all my little tips and tricks on things that you can do to help improve your branding and social media. And many of the things are free. They're resources that I've found, some AI tools, some amazing software that's out there that's absolutely free to use. And you can create content to your heart's desire. You can get really busy on that. And there's links within that PDF. That's the great part about it. There's links, so you can click on those links and find out more information about all those goodies.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. That sounds super useful. And I love that there's the links, perfect. Just go get it.
Go get it. Get it. And download it. Even if you can't don't do shelf help book things. People, they go, oh, I'll watch that later, or I'll do that later. Just get it, download it, and have it on your computer. Then you can read it at any time, or print it out like the old time, like paper. It's been so fun being with you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this has been great. Do you have any final words of wisdom?
My final word of wisdom is just when the doubts come in your mind about your dreams and your passions, focus on who you're serving and the audience, the people that you can make a big difference with. Really, really want you to remain true to that passion, because there's a reason why you're feeling that pull, and there's a reason why you're feeling that magical fairy dust when you do those things and you feel in your groove. Just don't let those negative thoughts, those old stories, that imposter syndrome stop you, because your audience, your tribe, your community is waiting for you. You just need to show up, really.
Don't let anything stop you from showing up. I love that. Focus on that. Thank you so much, Christine. This has been so much fun. And it's
anytime.
Yeah, I just love everything you shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.